friend of mine recently gave me a book entitled What to Do When People Don't Like You. Would you want to read that book?
Did you try to hint at something? Might be helpful.
No, it was serious. We've been having this conversation about as you put yourself out on YouTube, as you put yourself out on the planet, the more people you put yourself out with, the more people are like, not so much me for you. So it's why people like hide out, right? Why they hide in their house, why they hide behind their mask of makeup or hair, why they hide behind their identity, their money, their spouse, their car. Because if you put yourself out there, people are like, yeah, that shit's not really working for me, right? So he and I have been having this conversation, and I was like, yeah, I'm just really curious about this piece. So he was like, I'm gonna get you this book, and then he hands me this book, What to Do When People Don't Like You, which is just a great title, I thought. So after I read it, I'll tell you what I learned. But I had the pleasure last night of going. I hope you guys have tickets to BIFF this weekend, the International Film Festival. Some great films. And last night I got to go see Chef Lynn, which was just an amazing story about this young boy who about 10 or 11 started a high-end fine dining restaurant in his house. And he had a kitchen in his bedroom where the bed folded up. And he's like, here's my sous vide and my grill and I mean, it was just like amazing. And a little bit like the movie Free Solo, we learn like, not everything comes from beauty. Hi, Corey. Not everything comes from like this beautiful, wonderful place. Like he had some pain in his life with his family, and this is part of how he was managing that. But as he started to put himself out there, guess what? People were like, this fucking kid, oops, sorry, YouTube. This kid doesn't know what he's doing. He's like a 10-year-old. He doesn't know what's going on. Like, he's 13. How can we call him a chef? And what I saw him doing a little bit, and it was amazing as a teenager, and I've been practicing, is do you need to like read the reviews about you? Whether it's online or just when someone gives you feedback, do you need to just take that on and be decimated by it? Do you need to take it as true? Are you even willing to try it on? Because what's interesting is our egos are often so fragile. When we get the good feedback, we're like, oh, I'm stretching, this feels awesome. And we get the bad feedback, we're like, oh. What if actually neither is necessarily true? What if neither is really about us? And what if neither is necessarily like the gospel or the Bible? Like we're the ones who decide. And so as this young boy went on to create this amazing career, and he owns a restaurant now in New York City, he's 19, and he had 1 million people who are still to this day saying, no, you can't become a chef this way. You can't call yourself a chef. He was like, I feel like I'm going to, right? And I think about like 25 years ago when I was going to become a therapist, I asked all these people, like, do you think I should open a private practice? Every single one of them, no. This town is so saturated. No, healthcare is so bad. Don't do it. Except my husband, who wasn't my husband at the time. So we have these opportunities where we get feedback from the world. And I'm not suggesting we shouldn't take feedback, because feedback is an important part of how the world works, right? Like if you burn yourself, that's feedback. But I'm suggesting that we pause and try things on, and we start to look at why it is we're so invested in people's feedback. And maybe more importantly, why are we so invested in people's feedback over our own feedback? That's Snow Quiet in here. You guys thinking about this? This is a lot for Saturday morning. So we're going to do that. We're going to work with the book, What to Do When People Don't Like You, even though we haven't read it. I think we can figure it out a little bit. We'll work with that this morning. So, as you come to your seat, place your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your right. And feel the power that lives in you. Your voice, your truth, that everywhere you go, you are making impact on the people around you. And the question simply becomes, what will serve me best? Feel the person that's in here. Invite that person to live outside of you all day today. Everywhere you go, whether people like it, agree with it, or not. This is who you are.